Highsmith's 1955 novel, which then became a series. No, it's not from the movie. The movie came from the novel. You know, not everything came from a movie.
Of the very, very, very good 1999 film with Matt Damon and Gwyneth Paltrow and talented Mr. Ripley. Also known as the original Saltburn, to be honest with you.
I'll try to keep this as spoiler-free as possible. I think I can do it, but I noticed silly little things like props and framing. Things that you probably wouldn't notice, and now I will spoil it permanently for you. So, you were warned. Let's go. So, Netflix's Ripley stars the gorgeous, darling Andrew Scott as Tom Ripley. And the story, you know, much like the film, follows Tom Ripley as he tries to convince Dickie to come back home from Italy. Dickie is a rich, spoiled brat that has settled in Italy with his girlfriend, or not a girlfriend, situationship, let's call it. And he's obviously a Nepo baby and super duper fucking rich, which is why his dad can afford to pay some rando, aka Tom Ripley, to go bring him back from Italy. There's a dynamic and yet delicate performance, and I say this obviously with zero hint of bias as somebody who's been a big fan of his since he was Moriarty to Cumberbatch's Sherlock. This portrayal of Tom Ripley in Andrew's hands, he does have an evil undertone, but it's different to the one that he had when he was Moriarty, where it was a lot more maniacal. This one was more careful, thought out, methodical, but also, there were certain comedic beats in the show that, because it's Andrew, and, you know, he's so versatile as an actor in terms of comedy and drama, that he was able to carry them through without it being very cringy. So, this iteration of Tom Ripley, he is very much a man. By no means is he a perfect super mastermind or villain, because there are times where he kind of fucks up, and there are times where circumstances don't work out in his favor. And I kind of like this approach of kind of just giving the human touch to Tom Ripley, so he's not just this evil caricature of, you know, like plotting and obsession. I don't know. And also in Andrew's hands, he kind of plays off those mistakes or things not going according to plan with a certain comedic undertone, and that kind of just lightens the show up a little bit, brings a little bit of brevity into the situation. I appreciate that. I don't think many actors can. I don't think it would have been as well handled in another actor's heads, but I could be biased. I only have two other things to say, which is A, I don't like the actor that played Dickie in this role. I felt like Jude Law did way too good a job in the movie, and also it's Jude Law who is the epitome of charisma, and this poor actor in the TV show just didn't have it. Also, big shoes to fill. He tried, but he didn't. He missed the mark a little bit. Just a little bit, in my opinion. But, you know, who am I to say? Thing number two is that they casted a non-binary actor for the role of Freddy, who you will only see one bloody scene from episode 1 to 3. I don't know how they're going to carry out 4, 5, 6, but I really hope Freddy comes back, because that one time that the actor was on screen, my attention was just captured. I was just like, there was a little something here. I should be paying attention. Oh, and you're gone. Okay, never mind. I'll see you later. Something I was saying, even when I was watching the episodes in the theater, was that this show is so well shot for TV. Like, it has brought TV to a whole other level. It is cinematic. It's gorgeous. It's like the cinematography was just mind-blowing, like jaw-droppingly pretty. And guess what? Like, Robert Elswit was the one who lensed it. He's the cinematographer who's also behind Paul Thomas Anderson's Boogie Nights and Magnolia, and a man has an Academy Award under his belt. So, yeah, good luck to any other TV show who is going to try and win a cinematography award in the limited series categories for all the awards next year. Yeah. This is not just a high bar to clear. It's the fucking sky. Enough about cinematography. I want to talk about something else, which is the set design. Okay. First of all, 70% of the first 3 episodes was pretty much shot in exteriors-wise in Italy. It was fucking gorgeous. That was obviously the right choice, but that also means there wasn't a lot of sets, like interior sets. 2 main notable ones that I can think of off the top of my head is Tom's initial residence in New York, which is this shitty co-op dorm-like situation that he has. We don't see it beyond episode 1. In episode 1, where we are first introduced to Tom, we see him in a shitty co-op housing situation. His room is small, it's cramped, it's claustrophobic, which is probably how Tom feels about his circumstances up at that point. He was mostly just scamming people for money. He didn't have like a proper job, whatever. And this contrasted really nicely when he went to Italy, and you see all these gorgeous white exteriors of, you know, the sand, the sea, the buildings, you know, a land of possibilities, which is probably how Tom felt when he first landed in Italy. Inside, like I mentioned, is Dickie's house in Italy. It's dressed to denote opulence, but also there's a certain crassness in the taste. Like, you can kind of tell that it wasn't particularly curated. It was put together by some rich kid who wanted to look like he had taste. But other than that, that particular set design was kind of minimalistic, and I think it was on purpose to kind of allow space for the actors and maybe even props to stand out. The reason why I say props is because, like I said, this entire show is shot in black and white, which means there's actually a lot more things you can do when it comes to contrast and playing with that contrast. In the scenes where Tom is having conversations with Dickie or Dickie and Marge, he's seen drinking red wine, which when shot in black and white looks like a dark, dark poison. So very small spoiler alert for episode 3, but it takes place mostly on a boat. And the boat shots were very well done. Like, the whole time I was just like, did they shoot this in the studio? Did they like CGI parts of it? Was it stitched? I was kind of just wondering about that when I was watching the shots, but yeah, it was really well done. Conclusion. Will I continue to watch the rest of the series? Yes, I definitely will. As somebody who appreciates pretty things, I would definitely just be watching the show for aesthetic alone. And I think they know that, because I also think this show is far more aesthetic driven than story driven. And you can tell from shot choices, like they have chosen to linger on stuff that's pretty but probably doesn't really add much to the story, or they would have the actors stage a scene in a place where it's just like, this is fucking gorgeous, but why are they here? Like, and then you never see that set again, or like you never see them go back to that location again. It just feels like one of those things where the director goes, oh my god, this is gorgeous, we should have a scene here, but there is no scene here. There is no scene that is set to be here on this random flight of stairs in Italy. We'll make something up. Catch Netflix's latest series, Ripley, premiering April 4th. And let me know if you're going to be watching it and what you think about it. Thanks for watching. Ciao.